Hey everyone, good morning. It's like I have to pause and wait for the dogs to bark. I can hear little Miss Lola in the background in my bedroom. Anyway, hi, good morning. Start of a brand new week here at Cricut Chat. My name is Rita, and this is my channel. This is a show that we do all the wonderful things that are related to Cricut. Using our Cricut machine, I do not discriminate. I use all the Cricut machines, and today we are starting back on. We spent the whole week last week going over the Cricut Joy, and I have so much fun with that machine. But I realized that I missed working with paper for it's been a couple weeks that I haven't worked a lot with paper, so we're going to be working a little bit more paper starting this week. And so I hope that that will encourage some of you that have purchased lots of paper. So today we're going to take what is considered a simple card, which is this card. I don't actually have it in the simplified version, but this is the card that we're going to make. And it starts off as a simple card. I'm going to show you how it works, and how to get all the multicolors, because right now it's simple, so that means that there's only one uh, other color. There can be multiple colors if you want. In this case, because it's Independence Day, I decided to stick with the red, white, and blue colors. Um, and so I'm going to show you a little bit about that. Also going to talk a little bit about paper and how to find good paper and stuff like that. And what else? I also want to remind you that this is the last week to get your name in for that Cricut Bright 360 table lamp in your choice of Zen Blue or indigo. And so I'll be picking the winners this week and presenting them or telling you about them. I think I said Thursday on my calendar. The rest of the week, just so that you know, before we get started, tomorrow we've got a banner that we're doing with rhinestones. I'm going to show you. I found last year's, and I want to show you because I just love this one so much. Look at these rhinestones on there. And we're going to instead, I found the one that said celebrate, but I want to do one that says Happy 4th of July. And we used hot fix rhinestones for this last year. And I just really loved this project and wanted to show you how to do it. It can actually be done on the Joy or any of the machines. So we're going to do that tomorrow. Then we're going to kind of switch a little bit and go towards our Canadian friends. You know, it's Canada Day in a few days. I think it's Friday. And we are going to work on a really fun hat. So we are going to use the hat press for this. And if I can get my mug press back, then we'll do a mug as well that says 100% Canadian from A to Z. I'm probably saying the A wrong. EH. I also have a number of projects for our Canadian friends, including a bunch of Canada Day stickers. And then we will also be going into doing, let's see, what was the other thing? I have another banner that I want to check out with you that I want to do in glitter. I was thinking about a really large banner. It started off fairly small, so I wanted to show you that. I have some aprons that I need to do for Create and Escape, my friends down in downtown Peabody. So I want to show you how to do that as well. And what else do we have? Well, it's the 4th of July next week. So how about some cake toppers or even cupcake toppers that you can use for that? So we've got a full week planned. Now, remember, this is our last week of the Monday through Friday programming. Starting next week, we're going to be shifting it. We're still going to do 5 days, but we're going to shift it to let's see, is it Thursday through Tuesday? Wednesday? No, it's Friday to Tuesday. So we'll start on Monday and we'll do Monday, Tuesday. Then I'll have Wednesday, Thursday off. And then you'll see me again on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Okay, so that's the new schedule starting next week, and I will post a schedule. Good morning to all my friends. Let's see. Good morning to all my friends. And just want to say hi to Leilani, Gail. Hi, we had a great time on Saturday night. Hi, Gail. Nice to see you. The Shirley. We had a great time. It was a small group, but if you wanted to see the Zoom, it is on Facebook, so you can check it out. We talked about all kinds of things, including my obsession with buying Cricut machines even when I don't need them. And let's see, we just had a really fun week last week, so I hope if you missed anything you could catch up by checking out the replay for our channel Cricut Chat with Miss Rita. So let's segue into making, I know 4 hours we were on. I had to take a break, take the dogs out, make an omelet for Owen and all of that stuff. So, okay, so let's have a look. So today we're going to actually start off with a new project. And you'll notice here, first of all, that I have 2 windows open. I am cutting our card here in the back window, and then I opened a new window. Do you know how to do this? I will show you how to do this, so it's real easy. So if ever you are working on a card and you need to be opening up, for instance, it's a long cutting card like this, and you need to open up another window to work on another project, prepare another project or whatever. This is in Macintosh. I'm sure it's very simple in Windows, but all I do is go up here to File and hit New Window. Now, when I do that, that new window covers the old window. So if I need to, for instance, see the old window, I can just move it around. And that's what I'm doing here. So here's my new window, and it's going to work independent of the other window. So it can be cutting while you're working on this other thing. So, so let's go ahead and start a new project here. And we're going to go, I'm going to make this bigger just so that you can see. And I'm also going to increase the size of it so you can see. Deborah, it's so nice to see you back. I'm so sorry that you lost your brother-in-law. Oh, I'm so sorry, Deborah. Well, prayers to you and your sister. Okay, so we're going to be looking for this card where we're going to go to images, and this is found in a set. It's a very old image set, but I love it, and it's one of my favorites. So we're going to go, here we are in images, and we're going to go to image sets, okay? And when we go to image sets, this is all the groupings of images by the group, like by the set that they are made in. So for instance, you don't just usually have an image that's individual, although now they're starting to sort of go away from the image sets a little bit. But back in the day, they used to have images in a group called it was really called a cartridge. You used to buy the cartridges. They were very expensive. And I collected a bunch of them, of course, and you would buy them and you'd use the cartridge to move your machine to cut certain sizes and everything. And now we're free of all of that. So we can go ahead and just look at all these image sets. And most of them have this little A on here. That A means that it's part of Cricut Access. Cricut Access, Cricut Design Space, which is the software that we use, that's free. It's free for everyone. But Access, which is a subscription-based program, has so many images and fonts and projects that you can use for free. And it's just so worth it that I always tell people about it. It is a monthly, or you can buy it by the year. And there's standard and there's premium. So I would encourage you to have a look. Usually when you buy a brand new machine, you get a subscription that that is like 30 days or 60 days, and there is a way that you can sort of get that 30 days, try it out, see what you like, and if you like Access. Personally, I've been an Access customer since 2014, 15, and I love it because they're always adding tons and tons of images. Plus they have all my old images, which I get to use. And I linked back in the day, I had all these cartridges, so I linked them all. So you'll see in some cases that it will say I'm either subscribed. So in this case, look, it says subscribed, but in some cases you'll see I purchased. So here's one that I purchased. So it does differentiate. So if I ever decide not to be a Cricut Access customer, I can just use the stuff that I purchased. Okay. So we're going to search the image set for cards, and there are quite a few cards here. And these are sets, remember. We're going to go looking for something called simple holiday cards, which used to be easy to find, but now not so much. Let's look for it. Simple holiday cards. I suppose I could put simple. So here it is, simple everyday cards, and here is simple holiday cards. One of my favorite image sets. They are simple because they're just two cuts. There's the outside, but we're going to make it not so simple, and I'm going to show you how. So you'll see here every holiday is covered. There's even envelopes here, and if you scroll down, you can find this Independence Day one. That's the one we want. We're going to choose that, and we're going to say add to canvas. Okay. So this is what comes in. It comes in with an envelope. You guys know how I feel about envelopes. So I'm going to ungroup this, and I'm just going to delete the envelope because I don't like to make my own envelopes. Okay. So all that we have left here is, I'm going to make this bigger. All that we have left here is the actual card, and then this would go in the back. And it's really cute. It's a cute card. It's kind of reminiscent, like pre-insert card things. But what if you didn't want to just have those two colors? What if you wanted to have red, or maybe even if you wanted to do the front and put glitter or any kind of thing here? Well, it's super easy to do, and I'm going to show you how. First thing that we need to do is we're going to get rid of this piece in the back. We don't need it, so we're just going to delete that. And then here is our card, and we're going to detach it. Detach is down here. It's a paper clip with a line through it. We're going to detach because we're taking off this scoring line. Okay. And you can actually detach and delete the scoring line. We don't need it for this. We're going to actually create like a card front that we will affix to a regular card. Okay. So we need to lop off the back of this card. So we're going to do that by going over to shapes. And we are going to choose our square. And here is my square shape. And I am going to come up here. I'm going to unlock it because I want to be able to stretch it over the card. I'm going to stretch it down so that it is covering up the back, you see? And I'm just going to eyeball this. I have about, I think it's like about a 1/2 inch down here. So I'm going to leave about a 1/2 inch up here. And then I'm going to select them both, and I'm going to choose a slice. Slice is down here, and it's like it's shown as two shapes. Okay. So we're going to slice that. And now we're going to peel away. Remember, slice is kind of like using a cookie cutter on cookie dough, is that you end up with all of these parts at the end, and you don't really need them. This is the part that we need. This is our cookie cutout, and it's perfect. And so now what we're going to do is add a couple of background pieces. But before we do that, I just want to just go ahead and make a minor change here, and that's to the size. So this is going to be an A2 size or an R20 size, which I wanted to point out that our friend Annette Graham put together this, which is a Cricut insert card size spreadsheet. And we're going to be working on this R20 card. So you see here, the R20 card closed is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that this is going to be the front of the card. And so we need to make sure that the front is the same size as an A2 card, which is 4 1/4 and 5 1/2. But I noticed that my height is a little bit off. So I'm going to unlock this, and I'm going to choose, I'm right up here, and I'm going to choose to unlock it and choose 4.25. Sorry, I hit the camera here. Okay, so I've got 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Now I feel good about that. So what I'm going to do is then I'm going over here to duplicate. I'm going to duplicate this twice. I'm going to change the color. So this blue is great, but I want red, white, and blue. So I'm going to change the color from one of these to white. And to the next one, we'll change the color. And I'm doing that right up here, and to red. Okay. All right, so now I have my 3. I don't actually have my card base yet, but I have my 3 pieces. But unfortunately, if you were to just stack these up like this, you wouldn't see the 3 colors, okay? So here's what you have to do. You have to decide, what do you want the outside, like the very top card color to be. Originally, when I made this, I made it white. But then when I did it again, I decided that I think I would like blue to be the top piece. So this is going to be my top piece. And then I will have red, and then white, or white and then red. It's up to you what you want to do. So let's make white the bottom piece. And what we're going to do is just take this image, and we're going to contour out everything. Everything that is part of all of these different cuts. So here is contour down here on the bottom right. And you'll see that when you open it up, you can individually take out these contours, or you can just use hide all contours. And this will turn the white bit to just the plain white. So when you're working with a layer, it does make it go to the front. So we're going to send it back just so you can see what that does. You see how the white shines through the blue? But now we have the red, and I want to show some red here. So we have 2 of our layers done. Let's talk about this one. This one's going to be a little bit harder. So we're going to also do contour here. And what we're going to do is decide, what parts do we want to be red? So when you look at a flag, right? A flag of the America's flag. The stripes are red and white. So I want the red to show up on the stripes, and the stars are blue. So I want for the blue to sort of appear through. So that's what I'm going to make sure appears through. But I want the stripes to be red. So here what I'm doing is I am just clicking on all the stars, and then I'm going to show you what that does. And we'll come back and do a little bit more just so you can see. Now this, when I was working on this technique, it became a little bit difficult for me. Like my brain always wanted to eliminate things, but you have to think of this in terms of what you want showing. So see here, this is the red and here's the blue. All I did was take away those stars. So I'm going to arrange this, just bring it to the front. And then when I put the blue over, you see I have my stars. Isn't that great? So I want a little bit more of red in there. And so I am going to, let's just make sure I do this right. So I am going to go back. Here we go. And I am going to contour my stripes out. So this always happens to me where one of the stars shows up. So I want to make sure I'm doing this right. So I'm going to contour out the stripes so that it can have a look. And yes, this has worked here, but I did it wrong because again, my brain it's hard to work like this, but we're going to go back to contour and we're going to contour out just the stripes. And I will make sure I got them all. And then I'm going to put the stars back. I just wanted to show you how this worked. And sometimes you have to go back and forth. So you see here, I haven't done all the stars, but I wanted the stripes to show through. There we go. And so we're going to do contour again. And this can be a little time consuming. And if you wanted to do like red and white stripes, you could just show some, like every other one you could do. So let's try that and see if that works. And let me just do these stars. Now, contour is not something that just comes naturally. It's a sort of thing. It's like you're working with a negative in a negative, like if you're making there we go. If you're making photos from from a dark room, you have to kind of keep coming out and having a look at what you're doing. So in this case, I have made the blue stars, and actually you see here I can't make the stars blue, but I can make them white because right now they are white. And that's a problem because our stripes are red and white and our stars are blue, right? Or they're white on a field of blue. Is that correct? White on a field of blue. So actually that works. Okay, so that works. But I still want to have a little bit more red in here. So what I'm going to do is go back to my contour. What should we make red? I think the word independent should be made red. So let's go back to contouring this one here. And we will just click on each one of those pieces so that it's going to take it out of the equation, so to speak. It's like you're making a stencil, and each layer of the stencil is going to bring in a certain color. Okay, so let's see if I did that right. Nope, I still have an E in there. So let's go ahead and hit contour again, and then we're just clicking on the E. All right, so let's have a look at this. So there is our blue with our red. There we go. And then we have here, I think it does also need, maybe this right here needs to be red too. So let's go back and do one more thing here. And that is, again, contour. And we're going to just, and if you don't like it, let's see if we like it. If we don't like it, we can go back and make the change. So here we are. Here is our 2 layers. Now here's our 3rd layer. Wow, that really pops off the screen, doesn't it? So now we have 3 layers. We do not have the card base yet. I'm going to show you how to make the card base, but just so that you know, if you have a joy and you want to just do this part and make your card base, I would definitely recommend that. If you also wanted to add a sentiment to the inside, I'm going to show you how to do something like that too. So here's our front of our card. We have 3 really beautiful card fronts, and I'm going to center this, and I'll group it so we can kind of put it aside. Now let's make our card base, which again, you could make if you want to use your trimmer, and we're going to take 8.5 by 11 inch paper. So here is 8.5 by 11 inch paper. Where did I get this? So I have a tendency to buy 8.5 by 11 inch paper, as well as 12 by 12. But I buy the 8.5 by 11 inch paper at either Michael's or Joann's. Michael's brand is called Recollections. You see here, Recollections. And the Joann's is called Park Lane, and they both do this. I don't know if Hobby Lobby does it, but they both have this 8.5 by 11 inch packs, and sometimes they're all one color, sometimes they're multiple colors. And for Michael's, there's one, I think it's called like Summer or Nautical or Coastal or something like that. It contains blue, red, and white. I didn't have that available, but I wanted to show you this. Now, these are usually 50 sheets of paper. That is, I think the retail on it is about $7 in the US. And this often will go on sale. I'm finding that Michael's they must have caught on to us, because now they're not going on sale all that much. I used to be able to pick one of these packs up for about $2.50. And that way I could have a whole lot of paper, but still at $7, it's pretty good. The paper is what's called medium weight. So medium weight is about 65 pounds. Okay. So what we're going to do is make the card base. So we're going to go over to the shop. We have a troll. Hobby. Who's the troll? Oh, is Loretta on this morning? We do have a troll. We have some sort of buy one get. Hi, Linda. That's my friend Linda from Peabody. So okay, whoever that is, I've got to get rid of. Hold on just a second, guys. We do have a troll. Let me see if I can't get rid of this person. I'll block them and see if that works. Thank you, but we are not in need of HDXYZ. Let's see if this put the user in a timeout. Block them on you, add to the block list. Okay, let's see if that worked. Sorry about that. Usually our friend Loretta, who's on, will fix that. That's in the chat portion of the thing. So let's get back to making our card. We're going to go to shapes, and we're going to go to here to the square again. We're going to pull this square, but then we're going to also go back to shapes, and we're going to pull the scoring bit. Here's the scoring thing here. So here's our card base. Let's change it. I'll change it to a different color blue so that you can see it better. And I'm going to unlock it, and I am going to, using my card size chart from Annette, is I'm going to choose, you see here, 8.5 by 5.5. Is that right? 8.5 by, yes, it is. So we are going to unlock this, and we're going to make it, I might have the width wrong. Yeah, I do have the width wrong. So let's make the width 5.5 and the height 8.5. Now this is if you want to make the card base with your Cricut. there is a quicker way to do this, and that's by trimming the base, but I wanted to show you both ways. So here we go. So here's our base, and let us just arrange it to the back. And then we're going to take our score line, and I just turned it ever so like to be 90 degrees rotated, which by the way, you can do up here, rotate. And then I'm going to stretch it to be, what's the width again? 5.5? Is it 5.5? Yeah, there we go. 5.5. Now it's not quite centered on the card base, so I'm going to select them both, and I am going to do align center. Once I have it completely centered, then I can select them both again, and I can do attach. Okay, so now we have a card base and we have these three things, and this is the way that it's going to look if we were to cut it out. I'm going to arrange it, send to the back, and here you go. So the card base is going to be blue, and then you have these three colors. What about a sentiment? So easy to do, especially with the vinyl that we all have accumulated from our mystery boxes. So first, let's find an image. Let's see. Hi. Hello, Roberta. How are you? So we're going to, I'm just trying to look at two things at once, so I apologize. All right, let's go back to images, and we will type in, I don't know, happy 4th of July or something, or happy Independence Day. How about that? Independence. I always have to do each syllable, day. Okay. And see what we have. And there are a lot of great images now on Independence Day. There wasn't always, but here you go. We're back in image set. So what do we do? What do we do? We're going to browse all images. We're going to get rid of this. This always happens to me for some reason. Civics and government. Here we go. There it is. Okay, so there are all the images, and we're going to type in happy Independence Day. Independence Day. See? I do have to say say it to spell it out. So it's going to look for different things, and here is actually what we just did, but how about something that is sort of, I don't know, happy 4th of July, happy Independence Day, happy day. So we can choose some of one of these. Happy Mother's Day. Oh, because it's doing happy. So let's see. We can choose, actually, let's choose this one here that has it has, like, it says Independence United States. So let's add that to a canvas. So we can go ahead and do this, and all we need to do is make sure that it's all one color. It is not all one color here, so we need to resize it. So let me just make this bigger so you can see. So I'm going to just resize it by grabbing the handle here and putting it on our card, Independence Day. But you'll notice that there's two colors here. So what we're going to do is we're going to use Color Sync, which is up here, Color Sync. And you will see here, when you use Color Sync, there's our card base. There's our 3 layers. And then there's 2 different colors here. There's gray and black. So I'm going to actually pull the gray into the black. At this point, it doesn't really matter what I use for my vinyl, what color I use, but I do need them to be all together. Okay. And here is all set for us to go ahead and cut it out. Let's have a look at what that's going to look like. I'm actually going to weld that together, and let's hit make it. So you guys know me. I like to make more than one card at a time. Usually it's 2, sometimes it's 4. And so this card, by the way, would not work for a our 2x2 or the card mat. This is going to be done on 12x12 paper or 8.5 by 11 inch paper. And you could use sticker paper if you wanted to, and that's a good use of the sticker paper instead of the regular sticker, just so you know. But we're going to choose project copies. We'll do 2, and you'll notice that 2 show up. Now I'm going to use 8.5 by 11 inch paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually move this one down here, and I'm going to put my paper on lengthwise instead of sideways. The reason why I do that is it's 8.5 by 11 inch paper, and this cut is just over 11 inches. Maybe it's like 11 1/4. So I don't want any of my pieces to be cut off. This, it doesn't matter. I'm going to do this in vinyl, and then we're going to do the same thing with this, like this. And this one here, we're going to do the same thing. Now, if we wanted to use a 12x12 sheet of paper, we could for this, because 2 of these cards will fit on a 12x12 inch size of paper. So we're going to hit continue. And you know what I'm thinking? I think that the sentiment will look really good in maybe gold. So I'm going to look for my gold. Well, I only found my silver, so we'll do silver. Okay, so it's saying I need to connect my maker. You know why it's doing that? It's doing that because I have my maker connected over here. So this was my first thing. I'm just going to hit done, and I will save this. And by the way, I did post this project already, both in not Design Space. Yeah, it's available in Design Space, but I did post it in Facebook and on the community page on YouTube, just so that you know. Okay, so here it is. This is what we're going to do. Let's cut out the vinyl first. So this is the vinyl, and I'm going to go browse all material, and I'm going to go to vinyl, choose the category vinyl. And this is, I believe, premium vinyl. I'm going to just check because, of course, I took it off the roll. And let's have a look at the back here. Oh, this is removable vinyl. Just fine. Let's go to premium vinyl, removable matte, because this is matte. It's not shiny. So that means it's matte. And I am going to, since this is on a roll, it's not smart vinyl, I'm just going to clip off a little piece. I don't need a whole lot. And I'm going to clip off the whole piece. And I'm going to retape up my thing here. And I'm going to say I'm done. And normally I would tell you to remember the settings, but you're not going to remember the settings because this is the only part that is done in a vinyl. The rest is going to be done in paper, remember. So here is my my mat, my brand new mat, and I'm going to put the vinyl on the mat just like that. If you have a brayer or if you have a little tool, you can do that. So it takes out all of the squiggly lines. Okay, so here we go. Let's move over to the machine so you can have a look at what's going on there. So I've already chosen my my setting, and I'm just going to put this underneath those little rollers and hold it while it goes into the machine. And then once it's done its thing where it checks the size and everything of the mat, but this is actually is a mat that's 12x12, so it's not really that difficult. So anyway, we're going to now hit this button. I will, Loretta. And I was thinking about that. Loretta's asking if I'll post this on Patreon, and I will. So Patreon, for people who don't know what that is a way that you can support me and other artists to make to help us make a living out of what we're doing. And you can go to Patreon, Patreon, and look for me. I'm under Miss Rita to the Rescue. And you can pledge either monthly, or now you can do yearly. And that is really just awesome because it helps to support me as an artist. And also what it basically does is it allows me a little bit of funding that I can buy more product, because I have to buy all this stuff myself. And so if you want to support me, it's not required, but you can support me on Patreon. You can also do this thing on Facebook, but I have never developed that. Also, while I'm talking about it, let me also mention that I have a lot of cuties. You guys know what cuties are. Some of you know. And yeah, the yearly Patreon is good because you get a 10% discount. And then you don't have to have something coming out of your account every month. So thank you, Loretta. Where were you when Loretta, we had a troll. But I think I took care of it. All right. So while that's cutting out, I'm going to bring you down to my workspace, and instead of cutting out the card base by my machine, I want to just show you. So this is an 8.5 by 11-inch sheet of cardstock. This is the medium weight. This is what medium weight feels like, and it makes great cards and card bases. So I'm going to take my trimmer. You don't have to have a Cricut one, but this is the one that I like and I use all the time. And I am going to put it in here lengthwise, you see, and then I'm going to cut it in half. So half of 11 is 5.5. So here we go. Put it right up to the 5.5, and then we're just going to cut it down. This away, and now we have 2 equal pieces of cardstock that we are just going to fold like this. Okay, so there's our base. Now, before I came on this morning, I also cut out all of the different pieces, so we'll go ahead and do that, and then we'll finish up with the sentiment on the inside. Okay, so there's really nothing to this except, you know, when you get it off of your machine, you're going to want to make sure all the little cuts are taken out, which I have, and then you're going to sort of layer it to make sure, does it look exactly the way that you want it to look? And in this case, I actually made red the top. So it's slightly different than what we did, but I think it's really cool. And then it's going to go on here. Okay, so we're going to need some glue. So if you're new to glue, the most important thing about glue to know is that you need to be very precise, and you need to have a very gentle hand with your glue. There are particular glues out there that are made for crafting, and one of the ones that I really love is called Art Glitter Glue. But the most important thing about it is you have to make sure that it's coming out very sparingly. And you see here I have a precision tip here, so I'm just going to do that. Now, if you can't afford the fancy glue, then you can buy little bottles that have the tips to them. They are usually found when you go to Amazon under quilling, and I will post a link to those after we get off the show. Okay, so all I'm doing is I'm just putting a little bit of glue here. I am not overdoing it. That's like a rookie mistake, is just going to dot little bits of glue. It's really not a lot, and you're going to have to work fast so that those little pieces stay down when you go to put it onto the next layer. And it doesn't have to be saturated, I guess is what I'm trying to say. All right. Here we go. So here's our red layer, and then we're going to put this on top of the blue layer. And again, not a lot, and we're just going to just carefully make sure that it's lined up. We don't want and this is why we don't put a lot. Like if you're off just ever so slightly, you can still pick it up and move it. This is hard for me because I usually have my head right down in front of the card. And so you'll do it better because I can't have my head right down there, but this is what we're doing. Now, if you have something that is pulling up here, you can certainly just go here and just put a little tiny bit of glue here. But again, don't overdo it. All right. Sounds like our sentiment is done cutting out, which is fine. That's great. We'll get to that in a second. Okay. And then here's our white bit. Now, you're going to point out to me that, well, if you wanted to, you could just use a white base. And yes, that is true. If the white is your last layer, of course you can do that. But you do what you want to do. I kind of like trying the different colors so it's not a predominantly white card, which is what I originally did. But you can do it either way. You can do it this way. It's all up to you. You're the boss because these are your crafts, right? All right. So there is you could do it this way if you want. Put this on. And here is our card. Actually, I like the other way better, but that's okay. Now, remember this, folks. If you want to do a Independence Day card and you just don't get to it in time for Independence Day, there's two things. One is people don't mind receiving cards late. That's one thing I've learned is that like you want to get your Christmas cards out and you want them to get it before Christmas. You know, to be honest, to get a card is just such a special thing that that if it's late, that's okay. That's how I feel about it. But also use the technique of make cards ahead and get your little card boxes. Those are little photo boxes that you can buy at Michael's. They come in all different like pretty things. They have Christmas ones and stuff like that. I just buy the black or the brown craft ones, and I just put my cards in there so that when I need a card, it will be available and done. So think ahead and go ahead and make yourself a card box so that when Christmas comes or when sadly when somebody has passed, you can go into your box and find those cards that you made without having to scramble for them. So that's my recommendation as a card maker for, 20 years, is that I like to keep all of my cards in boxes, and I tend to put them in there by categories, but I haven't lately. And that makes it a little harder to find, but okay. All right. So here's our card base, and I did use double stick tape on that. And put this on there. Okay, there we go. Now let's have a look at the cutout. So this cutout for the sentiment, whoops, I did this wrong. Flip it over and then take it off. See what happens when you take it off from the top? Not so good. So let's cut this out. Now this has a lot of very detailed images here that I didn't realize that it did. Look at how tiny the Independence Day is. So we'll try to weed this, but to be honest, now that I look at it, I think what I would do is switch this over to writing. So let me see what happens. I don't think it's going to work. Already I lost the A, but this is what I would normally do like that. But see, it's all coming off black. That's awful. So let's go back to our screen. We're going to cancel out of here. And instead of cutting this from vinyl, we are going to switch it to pen. So we're going to select this here, and we're going to come up here to operation, and we're going to choose pen. And you will see here that we will then take the pen and sort of center it on the card base. We're going to select the card base and that, and we will do attach. So when we do that, it creates, just so that you know, this bubble layered look. The bubble letters are pretty much unavoidable when you do this. So you have to find certain fonts that are not bubble letters, and that's kind of a topic for another day, so we're not going to talk about that. But there you go. That is the end of the the card, and here is what is the result. So again, change up the colors as you like them. I kind of like this now that I look at that, and go ahead and do the sentiment in pen. And then you have a beautiful card that you can send to whomever. And maybe it's an invitation to a barbecue. That would be fun, right? Yes, I could do reverse weeding, Betty. Is it Betty or Betsy? Betsy. But look at what happened. It's really just kind of a mess. Yes, you could do reverse weeding, and reverse weeding is a different technique that I can show you at a different time. But we're running short on time, so I wanted to make sure that you saw every aspect of this. So again, this is a simple card that we have added layers to, and also a card base with a sentiment. You can do all of this. You can do just parts of it. You can just even cut it out as the simple card if you want. But I wanted to show you that you have options. There are lots of fun things to do with all these crazy older images, and I do love to work with older images myself. So that is our show for today. You like the red front? Actually, I'm thinking I like that blue front, so I might cut this out in blue again, but I do like the white one as well. Anyway, that's our show for today. And tomorrow, let's see, what's tomorrow? Tomorrow is our banner, which is fabulous. It's a fabulous little banner that we're going to make even more fabulous by attaching hot fix rhinestones. So if you have hot fix rhinestones, and these are rhinestones, and we'll talk about them tomorrow, but these are rhinestones that can be attached to anything, including fabric, but we're going to attach it to paper. Okay. And if you have a hot fix rhinestone, what do you call it? A kit that you might have gotten for Amazon, I can post a link to one of the kits. They usually come with a lot of different rhinestones, and then this little tiny machine that helps set each rhinestone. So we're going to do that. If you don't have that, you have rhinestones that are not hot fix, you can glue them on, or sometimes you can buy the rhinestones that have like a little bit of adhesive on the back. So I'll show you probably both ways so that you can see how to do it in case you don't have the hot fix rhinestones. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for coming today. I really appreciate it. Can you use the mini for the hot fix? Yes, Paralita, you could. You could indeed use the mini for that. I hadn't thought about it. Maybe, interesting. All right, let me see about that, okay, Paralita, because that's really interesting. All right, everyone, take it easy and hope you have a great day. I will see you again tomorrow. And don't forget to get your name in for the giveaways. I'll be picking the winners at the end of the week. Thanks, everybody.